So this morning I got out of bed and looked at one of my videos actually on YouTube just to see how it was doing. And I noticed there was the little ask button. It's got a little star and it says ask and it's AI, the YouTube AI, and it'll answer questions for you and give you a summary of the video that you're watching. And it was actually decent. I was surprised because, these spiritual topics that I cover tend to be pretty deep and philosophical. But to be fair, it was mostly accurate. There were some problems. So this is my critique of the AI feature on YouTube and why you need to be careful. One of the things that it did, for example, was it only did this one time, but I asked it for a summary, right? There's a button you can click to get a summary. And most of it was a summary, but then at the end, it put its own like critique or opinion of what it thought I was talking about, right? So I was talking about the mental universe and how about half the physics community is acknowledging the fact that the universe is mind, that the universe is mental. And I even pointed that out, and I offered up some resources on my channel where I explain kind of who the players are, who these scientists are that are saying these things. And it's like it just completely ignored that. So the YouTube AI at the end, remember, this is supposed to be a summary. I asked for a summary and it gave its opinion. It gave like a critique. That's not a summary. That's an editorial. That's a critique. That's not a summary. Okay. At the end, it said the speaker offers no scientific evidence or peer reviewed information to substantiate his claim that the universe is mental. It said that. Okay, that's not a summary, first of all. Second of all, I did do that. Also, it keeps telling you that I claim to be the world's #1 twin flame coach. Now, I don't need to be the #1 twin flame coach. I don't really care, guys. I'll shut this whole thing down and go live in my car. Straight up. Like, I'll go live like Eckhart Tolle. I used to want to do that. Like, be a railroad bum and just be a drifter living around the United States and like I'll do it. I don't really care, guys. Here's the thing. I am the #1 twin flame coach. If you Google who the #1 pop band of all time is, you're going to get the Beatles or maybe Michael Jackson, and it's based on the number of records they sold. That doesn't mean you have to like the Beatles or Michael Jackson, but they are #1. Why? Because they've sold the most records. So I do not claim to be #1. I am #1. And I'm not saying that out of ego. I don't give a shit. Okay. It's the numbers. I've coached more twin flames than anybody, over 7,000. Here, you know what? Let me pause this and I'll show you. I'll fucking show you right now. I have coached over 7,000 twin flames. And by the way, why is that important? Why again, I don't need the accolades, guys. I'll go be a homeless person. Why is that important? Because I'm with my twin flame. I've helped thousands of people get the running and chasing to stop with their twin flame. I've got all these people on my YouTube channel that are married to their twin flame, with their twin flame, living together. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who to listen to, right? Like there's a whole bunch of people on the internet telling you to do all this weird shit to get your twin flame to stop rejecting you. Who is correct? Who is got the right message? Well, maybe the person that's helped thousands of people do it. That's why I'm telling you. I'm personally invested in your success, guys, because I met my twin flame, and oh boy, do I remember the sleepless nights, the desperation, the sense of meaninglessness, all the running and chasing, all the weird synchronicity, all the fucking weird shit. That's why I want to help you. That's why I'm saying that. I think it does matter who is #1. Maybe whoever is #1 knows what they're doing and they have the correct answer. Okay, so first thing, So in the early days, I kept track of everything on a spreadsheet. I redacted the names and email addresses of my customers. But just so that you're aware, we counted them up, all the number of customers, students from my old tracking system, which was done on a spreadsheet before I had a decent website. I had 1,032 people before I switched to my current website. So now what you're looking at is the back office of my current website. Okay. I've got 394 existing students that came from the old spreadsheet system. So I'm not going to count that number, 394. I'm not going to count. But I also have a hardship program for people who cannot afford to pay. So I'm going to add 169. So 1032 plus 169 is 1201. And then I'm going to add all the rest of you wonderful people, 6,056. That's 7,257 twin flames that I've coached. Again, why are the Beatles and Michael Jackson called the number one pop artists of all time? Because they've sold the most records. That doesn't mean you have to like them. Okay? But they are number one. And again, why is this important? Because it's not a claim. And that's all. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yes, I'm number one. Yes, I'm with my twin flame. Yes, we are twin flames. You don't just meet somebody, and as a result of meeting them, you experience Kundalini and you become psychic. So this is going to be a problem going forward with the YouTube AI thing. And I would hate to be like a political talking head on YouTube, by the way, like Russell Brand or anybody who talks politics, Jimmy Dore, because you're asking for a summary. It's going to give like the establishment bias. It's not going to give you a summary. It's going to add its own narrative sometimes. So watch out for that. Also, it's not perfect. It is machine learning. Again, to be fair, it was mostly accurate. It was the YouTube AI tool to ask YouTube. It was mostly accurate. I was actually shocked at how accurate it was most of the time. But the things that it gets wrong are kind of big. Like the things that it gets wrong. Like, for example, one of the live streams that I did with my twin flame, it kept saying that I was the DM and she was the DF. And it like kept switching them too. And so just watch out. You're probably better off just listening to the damn video than you are to trust these AI tools. One more thing before I go. The hype around AI really isn't as good as everybody says it is. And this is just my opinion. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think it's ever going to be. I've heard eggheads, scientists, engineers, computer engineers talk about this. And the reason for why they are saying it'll never compare to a human's intelligence is because of the size. Basically, it's like the size of an electron, okay, is how that works. So you can only have so much data, so much information passing through a passageway, like the circuit board on a computer microchip, those electronic passageways that the electrons, and they'll have them go in single file electrons, right? Or quantum computing is another kind of hyped up thing that's really not as good as everybody says it is, because there's a maximum smallness. Like you can only shrink electronic technology so much. There's a maximum size in smallness. Like you can only go so small, and then you reach a limitation because an electron is a finite thing. It has a certain size, and you can't make an electron smaller. And an electron is electricity, basically. There's more to it than that. But in a nutshell, I mean, it's the movement of electrons. And how a computer computes is the movement of electrical impulses in the computer. And yes, they've gotten very good at making tiny microscopic little fucking computer chips. But again, there's only so small that you can go. So they're already hitting this limitation with the AI technology. So, and a lot of investors are shying away from the AI hype too, by the way, because it's starting to look kind of like the whole .com bubble that you saw in the late 1990s and early 2000s, and then that shit popped. That shit popped. Um, so yeah, it's just I don't know, man. We'll see. I guess we'll see in 20 years how good it gets. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's going to get that good. Again, also YouTube, the AI tool, ignoring the evidence that I did put in some of my videos, the factual information, citing my sources. Here are the scientists that are telling you the universe is mental, and then YouTube telling you, oh yeah, he doesn't give any peer-reviewed, scientific information, even though I did do that. So I think it's just a bias that's sneaking its way into the algorithm. All right, guys. See ya.